Oh, how's it going, everybody? We're back for another edition of All In, where I'll pick a rock artist and I'll listen to the entire discography and I'll give my thoughts on it. And, well, it's not really a rock artist this week. We're kind of going a little bit different. So, the rules kind of go like this. In this case, the comedian must have 5 or more original studio albums. And cover albums can count. And I don't generally do live or acoustic albums unless the songs are original to that form. So, here we go. And so, it's like I said, it's not really a rock artist. I mean, it could be, but it's not. So, we're going to do Weird Al Yankovic. That's right. And he's real synonymous with doing song parodies. Like, no one else can actually match that. I mean, there are other bands that do parodies, but not like he does. So Weird Al, he's definitely a legend in himself right there. Just completely a legend. So we have 14 original studio albums. Well, mostly original. Partly original, I should say, because he does parodies. But he has 14 albums. You got Weird Al Yankovic in 1983. That's his self-titled debut, all the way to 2014's Mandatory Fun. So he hasn't had an album in, 11 years? But still goes out and tours. So, I'm trying to think, what was my first memories of hearing Weird Al? I would say probably around the early 90s. It was like right about the era of like Off the Deep End and Alpalooza, them couple albums. That's when I first remember hearing of them. Like, I remember, I think the first parody I can remember of his was whenever he parodied Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. I remember that. I remember another one called Headline News, which was Crash Test Dummies. That was like actually not part of any of the albums. It was actually part of a box set, like an exclusive track to that. But anyhow, let's get started here. So we'll start off. He was busy in the 80s, like real busy. So we have 1983's Weird Al Yankovic. So obviously his self-titled debut. So what we got here, we start off with Ricky, which is actually a parody of Mickey. You have Gotta Boogie, original. This is a good one. You have I Love Rocky Road, which parodies I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. Okay, you have Buckingham Blues, it's an original. You have Happy Birthday, which is a style parody of Tony K. Stop Dragging My Car Around, Tom Petty parody there. And then we have My Bologna instead of My Sharona. Real good one there. You got The Chicks at the Mall, original. You got Another One Rides the Bus, which was Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. A really funny one. I like that one. You got, and then the last 3 are original. You got I'm Mellow When I'm Dead, Such a Great Guy, and Mr. Frump, Iron Lung. So, all in all, a damn funny debut for sure. So then we move on to the next year, 1984. You have Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. Yeah, in the 80s, 3D was a thing. So, here we start off with arguably the most popular parody of the 80s that he did, Eat It, which parodied Beat It by Michael Jackson. Then you have Midnight Star, which was an original. You have The Brady Bunch, which actually parodied the Safety Dance with Men Without Hats. You have Buy Me a Condo, which is a style parody of Bob Marley, and kind of like a reggae type of parody, I guess. You have I Lost on Jeopardy, which was Gregory Kin. So then you have Polkas on 45. Now this is kind of a trademark he started doing on every album from here on out. So it was actually like a polka compilation that he would do. So in this case, he did Jacko Oma by Devo. He did Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. He did Sex Ama by Berlin. Hey Jude by the Beatles, Ellie Woman by the Doors, Inagata Devita, Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix, Burning Down the House, Talking Heads, Hot Blooded. Let's see, Bubbles in the Wine by Lawrence Welk, Every Breath You Take by the Police, Should I Stay or Should I Go by the Clash. You got Jumpin' Jack Flash, Rolling Stones, and My Generation, The Who. And Yearbook of Polka by Weird Al. So I guess, yeah, so it was kind of like this is almost more like a classic rock polka. Like, he really went back to the 60s on this polka compilation. So, moving on from that, we have Mr. Popple, which was a style parody of the B-52s. You got King of Suede, which was a Gordon Sumner parody. Or no, King of Suede was actually a King of Pain parody by the Police. Then you have The Boy Could Dance, its original. Theme from Rocky 8, that's funny. Eye of the Tiger by... Yeah, that was a parody of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. And then we end it with Nature Trail to Hell. Kind of funny. As I was listening to this album, my one coworker was riding along with me. He actually thought that last song was a parody of Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. It kind of starts off like that when you think about it. But no, it's not. It's an original. Yes, I listen to these albums during work, so I get paid to do this. So moving on. 1985, 3 years in a row, we have Dare to Be Stupid. So in this one, we start off with Like a Surgeon, which parodies Madonna's Like a Virgin. You have Dare to Be Stupid, which was a style parody of Devo. You have I Want a New Duck, which is I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis. You have One More Minute, which is a style parody of Elvis. You have Yoda, which is Lola by the Kinks. You have George of the Jungle, which was a cover of the titular television scene. I can't say it. Then you have Slime Creatures from Outer Space, which is a style parody of 50s sci-fi soundtracks. That was kind of interesting. This is a funny one. Girls Just Want to Have Lunch, which is really Cyndi Lauper. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Then you have This Is a Life, theme song film from Johnny Dangerously, style parody of 20s and 30s music. Interesting. Then you got Cable TV, which is a parody of Hercules by Elton John. And then we end it with Hooked on Polkas. So here we go with the polka segment. We have 12th Street Rag by Your Day, Al Bowman. State of Shock by the Jacksons and Mick Jagger. Sharp Dressed Man, ZZ Top. What's Love Got to Do with It, Tina Turner. Let's see. Method of Modern Love by Hall & Oates. Owner of a Lonely Heart, Yes. We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. 99 Loft Balloons. Footloose. The Reflex by Duran Duran. Mental Health, Bang Your Head. Relax by Frankie Goes Hollywood. Yearbook of Polka by Weird Al. So, yeah, so this is kind of in the era where, like, you know, you had 80s new wave, and this is where, like, hair bands were starting to take off, too, as you saw by, like, Quiet Riot and Twisted Sister. So then, 1986 brings Polka Party. So yeah, 4 albums, 4 years in a row. He was busy. So we have Living with a Hernia, which was Living in America by James Brown. Then you have Dog Eat Dog, which was a style parody of Talking Heads. Then we have Addicted to Spuds, which was a Robert Palmer parody, Addicted to Love. Then you have One of Those Days, which is an original. And here you have the title track Polka Party. So here's our polka segment for this one. So here we got Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, Susudio by Phil Collins, Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy, Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie, Freeway to Love, Aretha Franklin, What You Need in Excess, Harlem Shuffle by the Rolling Stones. You have Venus, you have Nasty by Michael Jackson, or Janet Jackson, I'm sorry. Boy, was I off on that one. Rock Me Abetus, you have Shout by Tears for Fears, Papa Don't Preach, Madonna, and Eat Booker Polka by Weird Al. So then we move on with Here's Johnny, which was Who's Johnny by El DeBarge. Don't Wear Those Shoes, which was unoriginal. Toothless People. You got Toothless People, which was Ruthless People by Mick Jagger. Good Enough for Now, which was a style parody of country love songs. Christmas at Ground Zero, which was a parody of Phil Spector produced Christmas songs. So he did a Christmas parody here at the end. Alright, so finally we skip a year, and 1988 brings us Even Worse. So yeah, so this is where he started to actually parody album covers. So this cover actually parodies Michael Jackson's Bad cover. So I think we see where this is going. So here we start off with Michael Jackson's song Bad. He parodies it as Fat. So then we have Stuck in the Closet with Vanna White. That's original. We have This Song Is Just 6 Words Long, which is originally I Got My Mind Set on You by George Harrison. We have You Make Me, which is style parody of Oingo Boingo. Okay. I Think I'm a Clone Now, which is I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. Okay, we have Lasagna, which was La Bamba. We have Melanie, which was an original. We have Alimony, which was originally Money Money by Billy Idol. And then we have Velvet Eyes, which was style parody of Police. Twister, which was style parody of Beastie Boys. And Good Old Days, which was style parody of James Taylor. So then we move on to 1989. So this is where Weird Al releases his movie UHF. And so, like any other movie, we get a soundtrack to it. But it's all Weird Al right here. You know, just a whole nother album. So here we have Money for Nothing, Beverly Hillbillies, which parodies, obviously, Dire Straits. And then we have Gandhi 2, which is just like a skit. We have Attack of the Radioactive Hamsters from Planet Mars. That was original. Owl Thing, which parodied Wild Thing. That was pretty good. Here we go, the polka segment. The Hot Rocks of Polka. Let's see what we got here. It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It by the Stones. Okay, I see. It's all Rolling Stones here. So we have It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It. Brown Sugar, You Can't Always Get What You Want. Honky Tonk Woman, Under My Thumb. Ruby Tuesday, Miss You, Sympathy of the Devil. Get Out of My Cloud, Shattered. Let's Spend the Night Together. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And yeah, so I think that's the first and only one he did strictly of one artist. So then we have the song UHF, which was original. We have Let Me Be Your Hog, which was also original. Then we have She Drives Like Crazy, which is She Drives Me Crazy by Fine Young Cannibals. Let's see, we have Generic Blues, which was a style parody of the blues. Spatula City, which was a skit. It's like a commercial. You have Fun Zone, which was instrumental. Oh, this is a funny one. You got Spam instead of Stand by R.E.M. And then we'll end it off here with The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota, which style parody of Harry Chaplin and Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah, I actually enjoyed this album. Like, the Spam song actually was pretty funny. So then we move on to the 90s. So this is another cover parody. So Off the Deep End, it literally covers Nirvana's Nevermind album. Except, instead of the baby swimming for the dollar, you have Weird Al swimming for the donut. So, obviously, we start off this one with Smells Like Nirvana. Obviously, parodying Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And then next you got Trigger Happy, which was style parody of the Beach Boys. You have I Can't Watch This, which is You Can't Touch This. You have Poke Your Eyes Out, which is the polka the polka lineup here. Let's see what we got. So here we got Cradle of Love by Billy Idol, Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega, Love Shack. You have Clarinet Polka, Public Domain, Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic, Losing My Religion by R.A.M., Unbelievable, MEF, Doomy, Belvedere, Enter Sandman, of course, The Humpty Dance, Digital Underground, Cherry Pie, Warrant, Miss You Much, Janet Jackson, I Touch Myself, The Divinals. I'm surprised you did that one. He's supposed to be family friendly. Dr. Feelgood, Motley Crue, and Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. And you can tell this is 1992 right here, because when you look at that song listing, you have a mix of metal, hair bands, and grunge. So this is covering sort of that transitional time in music, especially rock. It's kind of cool how he highlights that. So then we move on to I Was Only Kidding, which was a style parody of Tony OK. You got The White Stuff, which is You Got It, The Right Stuff, New Kids on the Block. And then you have When I Was Your Age, which was an original. You got Toca Grande, which was Rico Suave by Garoto, I should say. You got Airtime Amy, which was its original composition inspired by songs of Nick Lowe. Okay. Oh, this is kind of a good one. The Plumbing Song. So this parodies half "Baby Don't Forget My Number" and "Blame It on the Rain," where here they say "Blame It on the Drain," and then we end it with the original "You Don't Love Me Anymore." So, all in all, this is where I really think he started taking off. So then we flip over to the next year, 1993. We get Alpalooza, and here another parody cover. You get instead of Jurassic Park with a dinosaur head, you get a cover with a T-Rex with an owl head. You know, kind of interesting. So what we get here is, excuse me, we get the song Jurassic Park, which was a parody of MacArthur Park by Richard Harris. Then we got Dumb, Young, and Ugly, which was an AC/DC style parody. Then we got the Bedrock Anthem, which was Under the Bridge and Give It Away by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So this is kind of the second time he parodied two songs in one here. You got Frank's 2000 TV, which style parodies R.E.M. in their early work. You got Achy Breaky Song, which was Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. Here we have Traffic Jam, which was a style parody of Prince. Rest in peace, Prince. Here we have Talk Soup, which was original. Living in the Fridge, which was Living on the Edge by Aerosmith. She Never Told Me She Was Mine, which was, it says original glam rock song. Let's see. Harvey and the Wonder Hamster, which was from AITV. You have The Waffle King, style parody of Peter Gabriel. And on this one, we end it with Bohemian Polka, which all it is a polka cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. So this is the first time they did their polka segment as a whole single song. It actually worked. I thought it was kind of funny, you know. Different, if you will. So then we have to mention the box set. I mean, yeah, everything, just about everything was previous material, but I only came here to mention their song Headline News. And basically all this is a Crash Test Dummies parody. And in this parody, he kind of goes over, like, you know, the top news stories that happened during that time. Like, you had the feud between, like, Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. And the funniest one you had was the John Wayne Bobbitt incident. You know, since Weird Al is a family-appropriate guy, I'm not gonna go into more details about that, but I could just make jokes all day about it, like I have for the past 30 years. But anyhow, moving on to the next one, and this is the only one I got on physical. We got Bad Hair Day, and this is like I would say arguably this would probably be his most popular album in the 90s, possibly of all time. So here we start off with Amish Paradise, which parodied Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. And yeah, he did get sued over that by Coolio because Weird Al's version actually made more money. But yeah, damn good song. I still like it. Then you have Everything You Know Is Wrong, which is a style parody of They Might Be the Giants. You have Cavity Search, which parodies U2's Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Then we have Callin' In Sick, which was a grunge parody. So yeah, we're fully in the grunge era by this point here in 96. We have the alternative polka, so let's see what we have here. We start off with Loser by Beck, Sex Type Things, Stone Temple Pilots, All I Want to Do, Sheryl Crow, Closer, 9 Inch Nails, Bang and Blame, R.E.M., You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette, Bullet with Butterfly Wings, Smashing Pumpkins, My Friends by the Chili Peppers, I'll Stick Around, Foo Fighters, Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden, and Basket Case by Green Day. So yeah, this definitely lays out what the rock scene was like by 96. You saw no hair bands at this point. So, here we go. So, moving on to the next one, we have Since You've Been Gone, which is an original. We have Gump, which parodies Lump by President of the United States. We have I'm So Sick of You, style parody of Alice Costello. We have Syndicated Incorporated, which was Misery by Soul Asylum. We have I Remember Larry, style parody of Hillary Michaels. This is funny. Phony Calls by TLC. Yeah, Phony Calls, which parodies Waterfalls by TLC. And then we end it with a Christmas tune, The Night Santa Went Crazy. And quite possibly my favorite original Weird Al song. I just love that one part where he says, Merry Christmas to all! Now you're all gonna die! You never hear Al, like, rage, you know? It's kind of funny. Anyhow, so we're moving along. So now we're in 1999's Running with Scissors. So here what we got is The Saga Begins, which was American Pie by Don McLean. Kind of the first time in a while you heard him parody an older song. We have My Baby's in Love with Eddie Vedder, style parody of Zydeco. We have Pretty Fly for a Rabbi, which parodies Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring. That one's like real corny. We got the Weird Al Show theme. We got Jerry Springer, which parodies One Week by Bare Naked Ladies. We have the song Germs, which parodies 9 Inch Nails in their style. Okay, Polka Power. Here's the polka segment for this one. Let's see. Wanna Be by the Spice Girls. Flagpole Set by Harvey Danger. Ghetto Superstar by Prize Old Dirty Old Bastard and Maya. We have Everybody's Backstreet's Back. Of course, the Backstreet Boys. Walking on the Sun, Smash Mouth, Intergalactic Beastie Boys. Yeah, Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. You got Ray of Light by Madonna. Push, Matchbox 20. Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. This is a weird one for this. The Dope Show by Marilyn Manson. Bop by Hanson. Yeah, Marilyn Hanson. They put them back to back. Coincidence? I think not. You have Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground. Closing Time by Semisonic. And yeah, so that's the polka for this one. So moving on, we have your horoscope for today, which is a style parody of Real Big Fish. We have It's All About the Pentiums, not the Pentiums, the Pentiums. And that's It's All About the Benjamins by Puff Daddy. Let's see, truck driving song, style parody of Truck Driving Country. We have Grapefruit Diet, which was Suit Suit Riot by Cherry Papa Daddies. That's interesting. And then we have Albuquerque, which is style parody of the Rung Bums and George Thorogood and Mojo Nixon. So there we go. That wraps up the 90s Weird Al. Okay, so moving on to 2000s. 2003 brings us the album Poodle Hat. And so what we got here, we start off with Couch Potato, which is actually a parody of Lose Yourself by Eminem. And as much as I don't like Eminem and his stuff, it actually is a pretty good parody. I'll give it that. We have Hardware Store, which was original. Trash Day, which actually is Hot in Here by Nelly. That's a funny one. We have Party in the Leper Colony, which is a style parody of Pudiddly, or Pudiddly Beat. And, oh, I like this. Angry White Boy Polka. Let's see what this is. So, I would say this is like the new metal polka. So we have Last Resort by Papa Roach, Chop Suey by System of a Down, Get Free by the Vines, Here to Stay I Told You So, the Hives, Fell in Love with a Girl, the White Stripes. They kind of took on like the alternative here too. Last Night by the Strokes, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed, Renegades of Funk by Rage. Then we have Africa Bombada. Then we have My Way by Limp Bizkit, Outside by Stained, Bawa da Ba, Kid Rock, Youth of the Nation, P.O.D., The Real Slim Shady, Eminem, and that's that. See, it's kind of a mix of like new metal and white rap and alternative. So then here we have Wanna Be Your Lover, style parody of Midnight Vultures era of Beck. A Complicated Song by, we got a Complicated Song, which, that's pretty funny, which is actually a parody of Complicated by Avril Lavigne. Kind of confusing there, because it's almost the same title when you think about it. Okay, we have this, Why Does This Happen to Me, which is a style parody of Ben Folds. Ode to a Superhero, which is Piano Man by Billy Joel, another old one that he parodied so late. We got the song Bob, which is a parody style of Bob Dylan. We have eBay, which is really I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. And we end that one with Genius in France, style parody of Frank Zappa. See, I think this album has some of the best parodies of the 2000s, I think. Like, I liked Couch Potato, I liked Trash Day, I liked the Complicated Song, I liked the song eBay. And it's funny, like, 3 of those 4 parodies, I wasn't really into the artist originally. So then, we move on to 2006, Straight Outta Linwood. So, here they're sort of parodying Straight Outta Compton here, in the album title. So, what we got here is White and Nerdy, which parodies Riding by, like, is it Cloud a Millionaire and Crazy Bone? I don't know. I don't know my rap artists too well, so yeah, please forgive me on that one. We got Pancreas, which is a style parody of Brian Wilson. Oh, this is a good one. Canadian Idiot, which parodies Green Day's American Idiot. We have I'll Sue You, which was a Rage Against the Machine style parody. Okay, here we go. Polka-Rama. So here's the polka list for this one. We do Chicken Dance by Warner Thomas. Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand. Beverly Hills by Weezer. Speed of Sound by Coldplay. Float On by Modest Mouse. Feel Good Incorporated, Gorillaz. And then we have Don't Ya by Pussycat Dolls. We have Somebody Told Me by The Killers. Slither by Velvet Revolver. Candy Shop by 50 Cent. We have Drop It Like It's Hot, Snoop Dogg, featuring Pharrell. We have Pon de Replay by Rihanna. Gold Digger by Kanye West. And yeah, a pretty good set there, honestly. Not as much rock this time. Like, you can tell that rock was sort of fading out of the mainstream a little bit by this point, as we're in 2006 here. Alright, so we have Virus Alert, which was a style parody of Sparks. We have Confessions Part 3, which was a parody of Confessions Part 2 by Usher. We have Weasel Stompin' Day, style parody of the musical specials from the 60s. So I guess like a 60s music parody. Close But No Cigar, style parody of Cake. Do I Creep You Out, which is Do I Make You Proud by Taylor Hicks. Trapped in a Drive-Thru, which is Trapped in a Closet by R. Kelly. And it contains a little bit of a Black Dog by Led Zeppelin parody. And then we end it by Don't Download This Song, which was a style parody of 80s charity songs. So then, coming into the 2010s, we have Apocalypse. So what do we got here in this one? We have Perform This Way, which is Born This Way by Lady Gaga. We have CNR, which is style parody of the White Stripes. We have TMZ, which is You Belong to Me by Taylor Swift. We have Skipper Dan, which is a Weezer style parody. Okay, we have Polka Face, which is actually the polka lineup for this one. Of course, we have to have Poker Face by Lady Gaga. We have Womanizer by Britney Spears. Right Round by Florida, featuring Keisha. Day and Night by Kid Cudi. I think I said that right. We got Need You Now by Lady Antebellum. I guess that's how you say it. We got Baby by Justin Bieber featuring Ludacris. So What by Pink. I Kissed a Girl, Katy Perry. Fireflies by Owl City. Blame It by Jamie Foxx. Replay by Ayez, I guess it's called. Down by Jay Sean, or Jay Scene. We have Break Your Heart, Tio Cruz. And yeah, that's it for that one. Alright, we have another one parodying an old song. We have Craigslist, which is a style parody of Doors. Then we have Party in the CIA, which is Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. So yeah, he parodied both Miley and Billy Ray. Kind of a father-daughter parody throughout the career. We have Ringtone, which style parodies Queen. We have another Tattoo, which is Nothing on You by Bob, or B.O.B. Then we have If That Isn't Love, style parody of Hanson. Whatever You Like. Oh wait, it's Whatever You Like, which parodies Whatever You Like by T.I., or maybe it's a cover, honestly. And then we end that one with Stop Forwarding That Crap to Me, style parody of Jim Steinman. Okay. So now we have his final studio album. So we have Mandatory Fun, which came out in 2014. So starting off here, we have Handy, which parodies Fancy by Iggy Azalea. Yeah, I think I said that right. We got Lame Claim to Fame, style parody of the Southern Culture the Southern Culture on the Skids. I like this parody. We have Foil, which parodies Royals by Lordy. We have Sports Song, which was style parody of college football fight songs. Word Crimes, which was really Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. My Own Eyes, which style parodies the Foo Fighters. Now that's what I call polka, so here's the polka lineup for this one. So, Too Fat for Polka by Arthur Godfrey. Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People. Best Song Ever by One Direction. Gangnam Style. You have Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. Scream and Shout by will.i.am, Britney Spears. Somebody That I Used to Know by Got Ye featuring Kimbra. You get Timber by Pitbull featuring Keisha. Sexy and I Know It by LMFAO. Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. You got Get Lucky by Daft Punk. And yeah, that's that for that polka. So then we move on to Mission Statement, style parody of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but not Young. We got Inactive, which was basically Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Then we have First World Problems, which style parodies the Pixies. We have Tacky, which is actually Happy by Phil Williams. And then we end it with Jackson Park Express, style parody of Cat Stevens. So, yeah, there it is. That's the whole entire original studio album lineup of Weird Al Yankovic. And Weird Al actually was on a Simpsons episode one time, and there at the very end credits, I did include this in my playlist. He did a parody of John Mellencamp's Life Goes On. It wants something like His Little Ditty by Homer and Marge, or something like that. But yeah, Weird Al Yankovic, what more to say about it, you know? But okay, so we gotta do this. We gotta rank them here. So we're obviously gonna have the '80s Weird Al, 6 albums in there. Then we'll do '90s, and then I guess we'll do 2000s to now. I think that's kind of fair. So, what was the best one of the '80s? I don't know. I'm gonna say Weird Al in 3D was probably my favorite there. And this is kind of where like his formula really took off. Like he started doing like the polka segments. Like he had like 3 key things he did here. He did the polka segments, the style parodies, and the song parodies. That was his 3 key things here that he always did. And that, I would say, that kind of started that whole format. As far as my least favorite of the '80s, I don't know, man. This is a toughie. I don't know. Probably, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna hate on any of them here. They were all good, but my favorite was 3D. Now, as far as '90s Weird Al, easily this one. The most well-known album, I think, in my opinion. And I would say my least favorite there was probably Running with Scissors. Going into the 2000s to now, I would have to say Poodle Hat was my favorite. Least favorite, I don't know, probably Apocalypse. But no, I didn't hate any of them. I never actually sat down and listened to all the albums until now. Like, Bad Hair Day was the only one that I really listened to until now. But yeah, I just love how he stayed relevant over all the years throughout all the albums. Like, when he did his polka segments, like, you know, like, the very early one covered, like, the earlier classic rock, but then, you know, you had one that covered more of the hair bands. Then you had the one that kind of covered half grunge, half hair. Then you had the one that covered more grunge. And then you had the later one that covered more, like, new metal. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, if you want to listen to something different, I definitely recommend hearing his whole discography. So yeah, Weird Al Yankovic. Love it. So, next review will be something a lot more hardcore than Weird Al, that's for sure. And it's something that I think deserves a lot more credit. So, yeah, tune in next time, find out what it is.